For us, it's a really important part of our working year to hold this user group and to both talk with you about what we're doing, but more importantly, listen to where we should be going. A lot of what you'll see today comes directly out of last year's user group, and it's my job here just to set the scene as to what it is we're going to be talking about today, give you a flavour and maybe say a few things that Will didn't say, although always being second up, it's dangerous because the first person up can steal my thunder. So most importantly, what we want to talk about is where is PARS today and where's it going. Will's already mentioned the Project Resource Manager that we see as a product in its own right. That is a direct outcome of last year's user group meeting and listening to feedback about what you want to do on live systems. We're very excited about it. We think it's going to be something that will provide you with much additional functionality and takes us in a new direction. I'm going to say also a little bit about what else we do. When we last came together, we weren't called Interica. We were actually called Enigma. And just a little background on that. Interica was formed last July, 1st of July last year, and it brought together two businesses that at that time were inside Reservoir Group. One was Enigma, and Enigma with PARS you know very well, and the other you may know less about, and it was a company called InfoAsset. The origin of the name, well, we had to come up with a name for a start, and it's pretty hard these days to find a name that no one else has already got. And we knew that what we wanted to do was reflect some of the values that we had, and we thought that integrity is pretty important to all aspects of our business, and obviously we work in the earth sciences community, and therefore we wanted to associate ourselves some way with that, and so the terror was of the earth. Since that time, we've executed a management buyout of Interica from Reservoir Group, so the company is back to being independent. That for us is another exciting and at times scary proposition, I should say, but it's a great thing for us, and I'm very happy that we're supported in that by a professional investor base based in London who have financed the transaction. We think this gives us some freedoms as to how we're going to grow. As I say, today is very important to us in about where we're going and also what other things we're doing. So you know about PARS, you're all users. Today we've got some other areas that we're working in. Michael's come from Esri to talk a bit about GIS. We see, as earth scientists, or at least I'm an earth scientist, we see looking at maps is inherent to how we visualize data. That's an important part of our work. And as Will said at the beginning, we're going to talk to you a little bit about iAsset, which is another software product, and indeed some of the other things we do touch on data management consultancy, the management and the development of master data sets, and finally we're doing some work in the governmental sphere with national data repositories, which again is something that we have some inherent technologies that countries are interested in. In the course of the day, we will be telling you about what we have done, and in particular the left-hand side of this slide, looking at the development of PARS 4, the new architecture that's been put together by Lawrence and Jim, and the development of Project Resource Manager. We've got a bunch of functionality in Project Resource Manager. We know there are some things more that we think people are going to want, so please tell us, either on a one-on-one basis or in the panel session at the end, of things you would like to see that we're not currently doing. In addition, in the future we'll be rewriting IDS. We know there are some things in there that we're also going to be providing or looking at, and working with you to define that functionality will also be an important part of our future. And then maybe finally, in here is iAsset 10, and in particular in the middle, floating, it's supposed to be floating, and not covering all of the areas, but is the whole essence of where are you going with cloud storage. And we're seeing more and more customers come to us and start to ask us about cloud storage. We've been doing a number of projects for R&D. We've had some people talk to us about prototype projects that they're interested in taking forward. So if that's of interest to you, please let us know. If you're interested in a prototype project, please let us know. And we're looking to get some work groups together on that in the next year. So what are the objectives of the meeting from our point of view, and what is our take on what your objectives would be? Well, first and foremost, we see it as providing you with some education, some views as to where we're going, and for you to understand and share best practices. Last time we were together, one of the notable features was how individual companies talk to each other and just exchange views as how they were using the technology we provide in different ways. And we saw a number of different learnings where people said, oh, I don't do that, I do it like this. Haven't you ever thought of doing this? So we hope that by bringing you together, you'll learn more from each other. We also, from our perspective, want to listen to you very carefully. We want to hear what we're doing well. We also want to hear what we're not doing so well so we can improve. So overall, that's an important part of today's activity. We also want to communicate with you so you can see not only where we are today, where we'll be in September when we launch the new products, but also where do we need to be in a year's time. And that's the sort of perspective we're trying to get so Lawrence's team know what they need to be working on next. And overall, we hope you're going to have some fun today. If you don't have fun in this room, then join us afterwards, and hopefully we'll have some fun afterwards at the social. But you know, it's important we enjoy what we do, and I think you'll see the enthusiasm in the team today about what they do to make Interica a more successful company in the future. With that note, I'll hand over to Chris, who's next up, I think.